Today's story is about Emma Lawson, a devoted nurse and single mother whose life was shattered by a false accusation. Before we begin, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to today's story so you never miss a story that will touch your heart and inspire hope. Your support helps bring these stories to life. Emma Lawson was a young, dedicated nurse working at a mid-sized hospital in a bustling city. Every day, she walked the hospital corridors with purpose, tending to her patients with compassion and care. To her colleagues, she was dependable, trustworthy, and a source of positivity in a high-stress environment. Outside work, Emma was a devoted mother to her 6-year-old son, Liam. Their mornings were filled with laughter and the small rituals that made life feel full. Breakfast together, school drop-offs, and quiet chats about dreams and daily adventures. Her evenings were spent preparing dinner, helping Liam with homework, and reading bedtime stories. Despite the challenges of being a single parent, Emma's life was filled with love, warmth, and a quiet sense of fulfillment. But life, as it often does, has a way of changing in an instant. One ordinary afternoon, while caring for a critically ill patient, a medical complication occurred. A complication no one could have predicted. Alarms sounded, nurses rushed to the scene, and chaos filled the room. Within hours, the hospital accused Emma of negligence. She was suspended immediately, her reputation under attack, and her son left wondering why her mother was gone. The accusation was false, yet devastating. Emma faced an impossible choice, to despair or to fight. And fight she did, clinging to the truth and to the hope that one day her name would be cleared and justice would prevail.
The incident that changed Emma's life began as a routine shift. A patient in the ICU experienced sudden complications, a rare and unpredictable reaction to medication. Emma immediately responded, following every protocol and calling for assistance. Monitors beeped frantically, alarms echoed through the ward, and every nurse in the room sprang into action. Despite her best efforts, the patient's condition worsened. Within hours, the hospital began an internal review, and soon after, administrators decided to blame Emma for the mishap. The accusation hit her like a storm. Her colleagues looked at her differently. Whispers followed her down the hallways, and even friends in the hospital began to doubt her judgment. Social media posts from anonymous sources started circulating, claiming Emma was careless and irresponsible. The suspension was immediate. Her access to patients was revoked, her badge deactivated, and her reputation, painstakingly built over years, began to crumble. Emma's evenings, once filled with the laughter of her son, became nights of anxiety and fear, filled with questions about her future and whether she could survive this injustice. Liam could not understand why his mother was no longer coming home in the evenings. Emma cried in secret, feeling guilt for the turmoil her son was experiencing. Yet amidst the pain, a small flame of determination remained. She vowed to fight for her innocence, no matter how long it took, and no matter the obstacles that lay ahead. Emma began documenting everything, her actions, conversations, and medical records, as proof to reclaim her life.
The hospital investigation dragged on for weeks, and the weight of scrutiny felt unbearable. Emma had to navigate a maze of interviews, statements, and documentation requests, all while dealing with the emotional toll of public judgment. Every conversation was tense, every question loaded. Investigators combed through her past shifts, examining every minor detail for any hint of negligence. Despite the pressure, Emma maintained her professionalism, answering questions calmly and honestly. She was determined to prove her innocence. Meanwhile, rumors continued to circulate. Some patients refused to see her. Colleagues whispered about what might have happened, and the stress began to affect her sleep and mental health. Yet, in the midst of this storm, Emma found small pockets of support. A fellow nurse who had witnessed the incident reached out privately, offering to corroborate Emma's account. A doctor who trusted her work spoke to the investigators on her behalf. Slowly, these allies began to tip the scales toward the truth. At home, Emma balanced the pressures of her professional crisis and being a mother. Liam asked endless questions about why Mommy was not working, why she seemed sad, and whether everything would be okay. Each answer she gave was filled with hope and reassurance, even when her heart felt heavy. She refused to let her son see the fear that threatened to consume her. Emma's fight was no longer just about her career. It was about protecting her son and proving that truth can survive.
Weeks turned into months, and Emma felt the crushing weight of isolation. The hospital, once a place of purpose and pride, had become a prison of suspicion and doubt. Some colleagues distanced themselves, afraid of being associated with someone under investigation. Even friends outside work seemed hesitant to reach out, leaving Emma to navigate the storm almost alone. Nights were the hardest. Alone in her small apartment, she replayed the incident over and over, questioning every decision, every action. Did she miss something? Could she have done more? Even though she knew in her heart that she had followed every protocol, self-doubt began to erode her confidence. Liam noticed the change. His young eyes searching for answers Emma sometimes struggled to give. She comforted him as best she could, sacrificing her own emotional needs to shield him from fear and uncertainty. She compartmentalized, focusing on evidence, timelines, and testimonies to build a defense that could withstand scrutiny. She meticulously gathered proof, security camera footage, patient records, and digital logs documenting her exact actions. She reached out to professional associations for guidance, navigating bureaucracy step by step. Each action was a declaration. She would not allow false accusations to define her life. Slowly, even in isolation, a renewed sense of purpose built within her.
After months of meticulous preparation, Emma finally had a chance to confront the evidence against her. The hospital called a formal review meeting, including administrators, senior doctors, and an independent investigator. The room was tense, filled with unspoken questions and expectation. Emma presented her findings with clarity and courage, displaying camera footage, patient monitoring logs, and testimonies from colleagues who had witnessed her professionalism. Each piece of evidence chipped away at the false narrative that had haunted her for so long. The confrontation was not easy. Some administrators seemed determined to maintain the accusation, citing policies and procedures. Others visibly struggled to reconcile the facts with the story they had believed. Questions were sharp, probing, and at times intimidating, but Emma answered each one with composure. She explained the sequence of events, the timing of her actions, and the steps she took to save the patient. Her voice, though calm, carried the weight of months of tension, sleepless nights, and relentless worry. For the first time in months, she felt a flicker of hope, a belief that truth could finally prevail. By the end of the meeting, the truth was undeniable. The evidence proved that the patient's complications were unavoidable and that Emma had acted precisely according to protocol. The administrators, some reluctantly, acknowledged her innocence. Relief washed over Emma, mingled with exhaustion and lingering doubts. This confrontation marked a turning point, the beginning of reclaiming her life and her career.
In the weeks following her vindication, Emma returned to work with cautious optimism. Colleagues who had watched her struggle in silence welcomed her back with respect and admiration. Patients who had once doubted her were reassured by her professionalism and dedication.
The hospital recognized her contributions publicly, and administrators issued a formal statement clearing her of all accusations. For Emma, the validation of her innocence was more than professional. It was deeply personal. It reaffirmed her belief in her own capabilities and the importance of standing firm in the face of adversity. Outside of work, Emma focused on rebuilding her personal life. Her bond with Liam grew stronger as they celebrated small victories together. School achievements, weekend outings, and quiet evenings filled with laughter. She also became an advocate for fairness in healthcare, sharing her story and mentoring younger nurses facing challenges. Each step forward was a reminder that injustice, while painful, could be transformed into an opportunity for growth, resilience, and leadership. Emma also learned to forgive herself for moments of doubt during the ordeal. She realized that fear and uncertainty were natural reactions to extreme stress, and that her courage lay in continuing to fight despite it. Emma's triumph was not only about clearing her name, it was about reclaiming her life, her dignity, and the ability to inspire others. She had survived, not just as a professional, but as a human being capable of enduring and overcoming profound adversity.
Emma Lawson's story does not end with her exoneration. It is a living testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of perseverance. She continues to navigate the complexities of her profession and personal life, carrying with her the lessons learned from the ordeal. Emma's journey reminds us that injustice can touch anyone, but integrity, determination, and the courage to fight for the truth can prevail even in the most challenging circumstances. Her experience serves as a powerful reminder that setbacks, whether professional or personal, do not define who we are. It is our response to these challenges that shapes our character. Emma's story encourages viewers to hold on to hope, trust in their own judgment, and remain steadfast even when faced with overwhelming odds. Resilience is not about never falling, but about rising each time we are knocked down, stronger and wiser than before. If Emma's story inspired you, share this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to Today's Story to hear more narratives that touch the heart and remind us of our shared humanity. Remember, even in the face of false accusations, doubt, and fear, the human spirit can endure, persevere, and ultimately triumph. Thank you for watching, and never forget, courage and truth can overcome even the darkest trials.